What is happening, people? We are back a little bit earlier this week. We realized that we usually go live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but that's kind of when the game's gonna start. There's a game tonight.
Yeah.
Is it still tonight?
Yeah.
What is it? Colts Patriots, right?
Colts Pats. Yeah. Starts in about an hour and 20 minutes here.
So we figured we go live a little bit earlier, so we're only going to be on probably like right before the game starts. So drop all your questions.
Yeah, we'll be live for about an hour. I mean, yeah, until the game starts, like Badaki said. So any questions you got, now's the time to answer them. Crazy week, man. I mean, I honestly thought that this week would be postponed at one point. I was like, no, this is it. I mean, it's getting postponed. I was like,
yeah,
okay.
I thought so as well, but
yeah,
it looks like everyone's going to move forward with everything. Got postponed until Tuesday, which give people, I guess, a better opportunity to get a feel about what you actually need. Like Lamar gets a whole extra day.
Totally.
Or actually like 4 or 5, like 3 days actually.
Wait, did the Baltimore game get pushed back?
Yeah, it got pushed back till Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken.
The Baltimore game did? I don't know about the Baltimore game. I think the Baltimore game's still on track for the same time, but I could be wrong.
I could be wrong. But...
All right, let's start answering some questions. What's up, everybody watching? Y'all know how this goes. You ask your questions, we'll answer them in order. Live on YouTube, live on Twitch. The only thing that we ask from you is that you just drop a like over here on YouTube and you subscribe, follow on Twitch. Help your boys out as we help you out. It's a big week. Round 1 for most people of the fantasy playoffs. What's the first question, Badaki? Who we got?
Yeah, we got Thomas. What's up, Thomas? Full PPR, Flex 1, James Conner, Jeff Wilson, Miles Sanders, Devonta Smith. It has to be James. Ooh.
Okay, that's interesting, yeah. Is James Conner going to play?
Let me just see. I mean, at the moment, he's questionable. Officially questionable, listed as questionable for Sunday's game in Detroit.
Okay.
Said Friday that he expects both Conner and Chase Edmonds to play this weekend.
So what's his other options outside of Conner?
Jeff Wilson, Miles Sanders. Jeff Wilson, I'm interested. Because Elijah Mitchell's out already, if I'm not mistaken, and they're playing Atlanta. So
yeah, I would still go James Conner if I could only choose one, but Wilson is really close.
It's James Conner and then Wilson. James Conner, if there's a report coming out that James Conner is, going to be limited, James Conner is going to, I don't know, his snap percentage is just going to be held back, then I would just go with Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, you got to pivot. If at any point they're suggesting that Connor's not going to see, a similar workload, you should definitely pivot. But I think he's a safer start than the other options. Next question. Is it from LeBron?
LeBron's brain, Dak or Hill? Dak will have some strong winds in MetLife, 10 to 20 miles per hour. Look, I think you have to go Dak. Yeah, you have to go Dak. I mean, he'll make a way. Even if it's short dump off passes in the backfield to Zeke or anyone else out there. So I say we both are gonna say Dak Prescott. Chase, what's happening? Y'all like the Colts defense over the Browns even with the delay?
No, I wouldn't play the Colts.
I wouldn't play the Colts defense either.
And it's not because they're not a good defense. It's just the Patriots are a very good team. So, this is a team that's coached well. I don't imagine them creating as many turnovers with a well-coached team. You think about opportunities. I think the Browns have more opportunities. In my opinion, that's how I would look at it.
Yeah, I agree. Jay, Lopez, Suchu, Gibson, Penny, and Carter. I think I will go Gibson and... one's for sure Gibson. Let me just double check to see who Penny is playing.
Penny's playing the Rams, so that one's interesting.
Michael Carter is playing. I'll tell you right now. I was just looking at him. Michael Carter's playing Miami. I think you go Michael Carter.
Yeah, I am not 100% sure what Carter's role will be, and I don't know what it will look like with Zach Wilson. So I loved what I've seen from him so far, but I am worried about starting him in the playoffs. I'm also worried about starting Penny, but we've seen the vocal support from the coach, and we've seen it in the previous week. So I would lean Penny here over Carter, but it's very close.
Yeah, I think I'm going Carter. For me,
I get it.
Keenan, I need Ramondre Stevenson to get 20 plus points tonight. It's definitely doable, especially with Damian Harris out. I expect him to have a good game. This is going to be a great game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I view him as a top 15 running back this week. That's how I would rank him. You know, Indianapolis's defense, if anyone out there has Stevenson and you're worried about playing him because of their defense, it's actually a little bit misleading. You know, you actually look at the last couple weeks for this defense. I'm just going to tell you who they played, okay? So, let's think about it. Week 13, they played Houston. Houston could not stay on the field at all, and they didn't even play James Robinson that much. Before that, they played Tampa Bay. Leonard Fournette went crazy. Before that, they played Buffalo. Buffalo doesn't have any good running backs. They don't produce in fantasy. They played Jacksonville the week before that. With James Robinson was on the field. They played the Jets before that with no Michael Carter. Tennessee before that with no Derrick Henry. And then the week before that was San Francisco, and Mitchell went off for 100 yards and a touchdown. So I'm not as worried about the Colts rushing defense as all these analytics would have suggest you to be worried about, because they've played really weak run offenses, excuse me. So I'm starting Stevenson with confidence.
Yeah, I like it. My chat is going all messed up right here. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, you're good.
1 second here so I can actually pull it up. All right, here we go. All right. Now we're back up here. Here we go. All right. I have to mute the chat. All right. Chase, Henderson, or Saquon? I think I'm going Henderson. What do you think? Where are you going there?
Yeah. I think I would go Henderson as well.
Yeah.
It's really close, and unfortunately there's not a super clear answer there, but I would go Henderson.
I think, you just have to be okay where Saquon is gonna give you. He can give you less than 10 points, or he can give you, I feel like max and averaging in my head, I feel like I'll be okay with Saquon giving me is probably 13 points.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like, okay, you know what? If he gives me 13 points, I'm really happy. If he gives me less than 10, I'm disappointed. So you gotta roll the dice on that one. It's really close. Bossman, Fat, Amari, or Melvin Gordon, PPR, got Devontae Adams, JT, Monty, and Dak. Should I go with higher ceiling or safer floor?
I think that depends on who you're playing. What's your matchup look like? Is your matchup stacked and you need the upside? Because if you need the upside, then you go. I honestly think the upside is with Amari.
I think so as well.
I think the safer floor is with Melvin, though. So, and we don't know about Javonte Williams. I don't think he's going to be limited at all. I think they're both going to split the workload the same that they have before. So if you need safe play, I would go Melvin. If you need a high upside, I would go Amari. I do slightly lean Amari if you're even hinting that you need upside, but it's close.
Yeah, I like Amari a lot better. I think, the Giants are going to get up a lot of points. They will be on the field for a very long time. I mean, there could be a downside where the Giants are behind and they start to run the ball a lot, the Cowboys. So that can be the downside with Amari.
Yeah.
But I think I do lean Amari as well. Bob H.
We got a question over on Twitch, by the way. I want to get to this question on Twitch.
Let's do Twitch.
Many people, what's up, my guy? He says Deontay or Deebo Samuel. I can't believe you're in that position. I mean, you
got to start both of them, honestly.
That's a great position to be in. Deebo plays Atlanta. I don't know how you sit him. Deontay plays Tennessee. Honestly, I view both of these guys as like top 8 options this week. So I'm hard pressed to find any team that has one or two better options than these guys, considering the 2 wide receivers and flex. What are your other options, man? We'll get back to your question because honestly, I think we'd both agree that you'd have to start both of them.
Yeah. Happy PPR flex, MVS, Beasley, or KJ.
I'm going KJ there.
I'm going to go KJ as well. I like KJ moving forward.
This is obviously assuming that Adam Thielen doesn't play, and I don't think Adam Thielen will play. Mm-hmm. So that's where my
they're playing Chicago as well, so they give up a lot of points to the wide receiver position. I think KJ can get that bomb this week, that bomb touchdown like he did last week. Joshua, I lost 3 wide receivers to COVID this week. I need to start Rondale Moore or pick up NVS on waivers. I'll go with Rondell. Now with D-Hop out, I think I'm feeling more confident. I like his upside. They'll probably get him, some jet sweeps, maybe some screen passes to Rondell Moore. I can definitely see that happening, especially if James Conner is going to be limited. I think if he is limited, not saying he is, but if he is going to be limited, then I think Rondell Moore can definitely pick up the slack there. Do you agree?
Yeah, and I would say MVS and Rondell Moore are both shots in the dark. I think both of these players have a chance to score a long touchdown or a broken play. I would slightly lean Rondell, but it could go either way. It's really a crapshoot. All right, back on Twitch. It's a 4-man league. Okay, that makes sense. My other wide receivers are Kupp and Jefferson. Okay, yeah. I mean that makes sense. Look, I would go Debo over Deontay.
I will go Debo as well. I think I'm going Debo because he will be utilized more, especially with Elijah Mitchell out in the backfield. And Atlanta still gives up a lot of points to the running back and wide receiver position. So I think Debo has the higher floor. Deontay is just going to get the targets.
Yeah.
He's going to get everything and everything. Who does Deontay play, actually, out of curiosity? He plays Tennessee.
Deontay plays Tennessee, which is literally the worst. Defense against wide receivers.
I still think Debo has a higher opportunity. Like, he's going to get the ball on the floor and the ground. He's a Swift Army knife right now over there, so...
A Swift Army knife? Is that like DeAndre Swift plus a Swiss Army knife?
Yeah.
Combined into one?
Yeah.
He's a Swift Army knife.
That's exactly what it is.
But next question is from Rolando. What's up, my guy? Sit one, Gabriel Davis, OBJ, Henderson, full PPR. You have to sit one. I would probably sit Gabe Davis out of the options.
I agree.
It's just, we love what we've seen from him, but will that continue? There's not been the consistency compared to the other players, even though Henderson is really unknown right now. Ed Seat one. Question is, need one. Terry McLaurin, Van Jefferson, or Julio? If Terry plays, I would go Terry. Van becomes a little bit harder to project with OBJ playing this game. So I would go Terry. And if not Terry, I would go Van.
Yeah. Tyler, I definitely agree. Tyler, thoughts on Niners situation? Looking like Mitchell will be out this week as well as possibly next week. Do you feel Jeff Wilson will be a good snag, or will Debo and Hastings take too much away?
I think Debo hurts Wilson's upside significantly because we have seen it multiple times where they're in the red zone. Oh, Debo's in the backfield. Oh, Debo gets a handoff in the backfield and scores a touchdown. And honestly, it makes sense for the Niners because Debo is better for them at running back than anyone except for Mitchell. So, Jeff Wilson is startable for sure, but there's a lot of options I would start over him personally.
Yeah, I agree. Ronaldo, is Jeff Wilson startable over Penny or Javonte?
Not over Javonte.
Not over Javonte. Yeah, not over Javonte. I think I'm starting Javonte over both of these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully that helps. I mean,
Penny's interesting because we've only seen it 1 week, but we have the backing of the head coach. Matchup is better for Jeff, so I would consider starting Jeff Wilson over Penny. I think I would do that, but not Javonte. Penny's just so unknown, man. It's so hard to project Penny. It is
very hard to project Penny. I think I will go Jeff Wilson purely based on matchup, though. So I'm starting Javonte over Jeff and Penny. I'm starting Jeff Wilson over Penny. So it'll be Javonte, Jeff Wilson, Penny in that order this week, purely based on their matchup.
Yep. Next question is James O'Connell. What's up, my G? Hope you're having a good Saturday night. Saturday? It's Friday, then Saturday, Sunday, what?
Yeah,
Need full PPR, one running back and one flex. Stevenson, Gibson, Robinson. I'm assuming that's James Robinson. Brandon Cooks, Hollywood Brown, and Michael Pittman. Jesus Christ, bro. I mean, you've got so many options here. We're bound to.
Well, he needs a flex and
we can only start two of these players. These are all players that could have amazing games.
Who does Washington play?
Washington plays the Eagles, but who knows who's at quarterback. I'm way less excited about Gibson this week because
you don't think they will lean on him?
We have 24 players on COVID reserve list. Washington does.
You don't think they're going to lean on Gibson and JD? If
I think they will. I just don't know how many first downs we'll get. This is a good defense, and if it's Garrett Gilbert, who's our starting quarterback, I don't know how much confidence I have in Gibson getting into the end zone, which is what I really want from him.
Right. I think out of these, I'm taking away Brandon Cooks. I'm taking away. Well, that's the only one I feel confident just taking away. And
I would take away Pittman.
I would take away Robinson as well.
James Robinson, I would start over
Gibson.
So I would. Okay, so here's the deal. Stevenson is my running back
Mm-hmm.
if I had to choose from these. Okay, Robinson's a close second, and then the way my mind goes is, okay, do I want to start Hollywood with the unknowns, or do I want to start James Robinson? I really think James Robinson. I know it's been sketchy, but Urban's gone, and there's been massive support from Darrell Bevell, who's the interim head coach. I believe he said something along the lines of, James Robinson is our starting quarterback, and he will be played as such. Like, that will be his role. Starting running back, imagine.
I was going to say, well.
T-Law's the running back now. Anyway, so this one is very, very difficult, but I would go Ramondre, and then I would flex James Robinson, but it feels like I'm bound to give you the wrong answer here because these are all players that should be started on most teams.
I think I would go Stevenson in Hollywood if Lamar comes and plays.
Yeah, if Lamar plays, we just don't know that.
Yeah, we just don't know that. That would be like a game time decision. And I think even with Tyler Huntley, I'm okay with having Hollywood starting over James. I mean, they're playing Houston, so it's a little bit tough. I mean, like, good. It's a good matchup. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tricky one.
Yeah, it's a very tricky one, James. I'm sorry that we're not confident in the answer, but I hope that helps, man. I really do hope that helps.
We're confident in Stevenson, but I think we would split Hollywood and Robinson for both of us.
Yeah. Full PPR tonight, Pittman versus Stevenson. I think I would go Stevenson, honestly.
I think so as well. I'll go Stevenson.
I know the PPR puts you off, but I mean, the last time Damien Harris didn't play, I think Stevenson had 5 catches, so I think he'll get 2 to 3 tonight, which raises his floor a little bit. I believe he'll find the end zone. If anyone out there is playing DFS or prop bets, anytime touchdown feels safe for Ramondre. I can't tell you what to do with your money, but kind of am, I guess. Anyway, Lucius, what's up, my guy? Start 3: J-Rob, Miles Sanders, Ramondre, or Rashad Penny. So we essentially need to sit one of those guys. And for me, I think it would be
Miles
Penny. Okay.
I would sit Miles.
The only reason I think I'm going to start Miles Sanders is because I think Washington's going to be so bad this week.
Okay.
We have 21 people on COVID list. I don't know how we win this game. And there's a scenario in my head. I could be wrong. Who knows? I mean, Riverboat Ron's a good coach. He could have get everyone hyped up. But there's a scenario in my head where we're down big and Sanders plays a role. So
okay.
I'm gonna go Sanders and Ramondre.
Yeah, I like it. I'll back it. Well, I'm going Miles Sanders, but everyone else, I'm sitting Penny. Sorry, Lucius. Also start Dak or Taysom Hill this week. Thanks in advance. We're starting Dak Prescott.
Yeah. Definitely.
Start your stars.
Got to start your stars.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how to say that. How do you say his name?
Akshay. Choose a wide receiver and flex from these: Dante Foreman, Osborne, Julio, Gaskin, Michelle, Jacoby Bateman, and Jeff Wilson. My God, all these options. Feels like a trap. Okay, choose a wide receiver and a flex. Wide receivers, here's the deal. If Thielen's out, Osborne is the most attractive name on this list out of everyone for me, personally. So I would go Osborne there for wide receiver. That's if Thielen's out. Michelle is hard to know. What's his role gonna be? What about Wilson? Will he be vultured by Debo? So that leads me to say I would go Osborne and I would flex Gaskin against the Jets, who give up the most points to running backs.
That's exactly where I was going. I was going Osborne and Gaskin. You expect, divisional game. This should be a good game for Miles. He'll definitely find the end zone. In my personal opinion, so I feel confident in that.
I
I
hope
like
that
it.
helps, brother. Keenan, he says, "What's your predictions for Super Bowl?" I got Patriots against Arizona/Green Bay. I still think Chiefs. I've said this from the beginning, and I haven't changed my tune. I still think that the Chiefs are gonna be in the Super Bowl. I just don't count out Patrick Mahomes. And on the other side, I agree. I think it's gonna be. Except I would take Arizona out, and I would say Green Bay/Tampa Bay. So I still would stick to my preseason prediction, which is Chiefs versus Bucks again,
Mm-hmm.
a rematch. I think it's coming.
Yeah, I see. I'll give you 4 different teams. I'll give you Bills in the AFC.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the other team in the AFC, but I definitely see Green Bay and Tampa.
Mm.
So
Yeah, it would be crazy if it was Tampa and New England. Imagine that would be crazy.
that would be crazy. Yeah, I'm what on the AFC is definitely Bills for me. So I just don't. I can't think of another team on the top of my head. But yeah, I like Green Bay. I like Green Bay and Tampa in NFC. Lucius.
Jimmy G or Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Lamar plays, you play Lamar, and if he doesn't, I would be okay to start Jimmy G.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Z? Thank you so much for subscribing, brother. Appreciate you.
Big love, bro.
Yeah,
You
I'm
agree
starting.
with that?
Yeah. You said start Lamar if he plays. If not, Jimmy G. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. Dylan, full PPR, Ramondre Stevenson, Gallup, or Amon Ra. We're going Ramondre there, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, going Ramondre too. Gallup and Amon-Ra, I think have good weeks ahead of them, but
Mm-hmm.
I would lean Ramondre here because I think out of those 3, who has a better chance to get into the end zone? I feel like that's Ramondre.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to be amazing tonight. We'll see. James, thanks, fellas. You guys were out. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for coming through, supporting it. Midnight 201. James Robinson, Osborne, or Devonta Smith Standard League.
Standard, it's J-Rob all the way for me.
100%. J-Rob. Z, what's happening, brother? Okay.
I really think we're gonna get a good week from James Robinson this week. I could see him going over 100 yards, total yards, and 1 or 2 touchdowns.
Does James Robinson and Travis Etienne have a 50-50 workload in 2022?
I think, honestly, anything's on the table. You think about it. Most people from an outsider's view would look at the decisions that Urban Meyer has made and question all of them. So whoever comes in to be the head coach, maybe James Robinson isn't on this team. Maybe Travis Etienne isn't on this team. Who knows?
Imagine if Etienne is not on this team next year. Oh my gosh, that would be so
great.
sad. That would be sad. That would be sad for the whole. Imagine that happens and we never saw the T-Law and Travis Etienne connection.
Yeah, true. I mean, that's why I do think that it's more likely that Robinson is traded away. But there's a very good scenario. A lot of teams, they don't have to pay either of these guys, so maybe it's more likely that it is a split workload.
I said that before the season. I was like, I won't be surprised if James Robinson doesn't get traded because the investment of Travis Etienne, like that's a big investment.
And honestly, before the whole drama, I didn't think that would happen. But now that there's been drama and no one really wants to be in Jacksonville, maybe he pushes his way out.
So. Maybe. Z, okay, so I'm in the playoffs. I'm getting sweaty. Standard scoring. I need 2 picks. Zeke.
He said it's getting sweaty, not he's getting sweaty.
Oh, it's getting sweaty.
In the playoffs. By the way, it's hot as hell where I am.
It's getting sweaty. It's getting sweaty. Like
yeah. Like anyway. COD. Yeah, I get it. Like, these dudes are sweaty.
I need to pick 2. Zeke, RB1 season. Okay, he's believing in Zeke. He must be a Cowboy fan. Stevenson or Jamar Chase. This is standard.
Ooh.
This is standard.
Okay, so he needs to pick 2. Honestly, I would start Stevenson over Zeke. I don't know if RB1 season, if that's another option, or if you're saying Zeke is RB1. But I would go Stevenson.
I think he's saying is RB season is
RB1 season is.
I think he's talking about James Robinson. Okay, so it's Zeke, James Robinson, Stevenson, Jamar. Right.
Okay.
I thought that was like you're saying
right.
Zeke was RB1 season. Okay.
Jamar's hard, man, because he is more attractive in
a standard
formats because he doesn't get as many receptions as you'd want him to in PPR. But who do the Bengals play?
They play Detroit. So he's going to go against Surtain.
The Bengals play Detroit?
I mean,
Are
sorry,
you sure
they're
about
playing Denver.
Okay.
I said Detroit and then I say Patrick Surtain.
Right. Yeah, I would honestly, I would go
you, Crown, for
Stevenson
subscribing,
and
brother.
James Robinson here. I know that sounds crazy to sit Zeke. I am sitting him in multiple leagues. I could be wrong. I could bite the bullet on it. I'm okay with that, but he just doesn't look right. There's not a play where I watch Zeke and think, yeah, he looks good. Like he looks like himself. And last week versus Washington, they needed to have, a running back do something for them, and it wasn't Zeke. He was on the sideline. It was some backup. So
I think the only reason I'm going Zeke is because he's playing the Giants.
Giants are actually decent against the run, though. That's the thing. They're actually decent.
I mean, I don't think so. I do think Zeke, when he plays us, he just has an amazing game. I think last time he played us, he had like over 25 points, if I'm not mistaken, or over 20 points against the Giants.
I would be 100% on board with you if he was healthy, but I don't know that this knee's getting better.
What's happened with Tony? Isn't Tony out?
He was out last week, but still, it was like a split with the third running back on their depth chart. It wasn't like Zeke is now moving into a bigger workload.
So it says Tony is questionable, likely a game time decision, was limited in practice, missed practice all last week and again this Wednesday before returning for limited sessions Thursday and Friday. He said Friday he anticipates it being game time decision ahead of 1:00. With his pain.
Yeah, for me, it's James Robinson and Stevenson. I think James Robinson's going to get featured. I like the matchup, and Stevenson feels like a great start tonight.
I think in a standard league, I like Zeke and Ramondre, but his knee is going to get any better without the playoffs and time frame fantasy. That is, I agree.
Yeah,
he's definitely.
It's a hard one. It's a hard one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
DG wavy. I'm so wavy. Should I start Mac Jones? Depends on your options, my guy. I definitely think there's better options out there this week than Mac Jones. I could probably name 20 quarterbacks I would start over Mac personally. He might have a good game, but their offense isn't necessarily built around him throwing the ball 50 times. So. I do think there's better options than Mac Jones this week. I would start like a Ryan Tannehill, a Big Ben, a Justin Fields, Wilson, Jimmy G, Tua, Taysom. There's a lot of names I would start over him. So I hope that helps.
Yeah. Crown trend. Pick 2, Devonta Freeman, Russell Gage, Rashad Penny, Amon-Ra, Michael Carter, full PPR. Michael Carter.
For me, I would go Russell Gage and Amon-Ra. And the only reason is because in PPR, I'm always going to slightly lean a wide receiver if it's close because I think they have a better chance at the receptions. And I know Michael Carter has been that, but we haven't seen him be that Austin Eckler type player with Zach Wilson.
Who's Amon-Ra playing?
So Amon-Ra plays
play the
Cardinals, and there's literally no one else healthy. Like TJ's not playing. Reynolds is questionable. He will be like the only target for.
Yeah, I like Amon-Ra and Michael Carter. I think I'm still trusting Michael Carter in the comeback here.
I would lean Gage over Carter, but it's close, so I get it.
I agree. Midnight 201.
By the way, Z, I agree with what you're saying about his knee. It's hard to trust right now.
Miami's defense versus Jets or Bills versus Panthers? Bills versus Panthers. I feel more confident in that.
Yeah, honestly, it is very, very close. I understand the question completely, but I would lean Bills defense. I think there's more playmakers on the team.
I think the
wouldn't surprise
Panthers
me if Miami outscored the Bills defense this week.
It would not
surprise me at all.
I think the Panthers are prone to make more mistakes. Cam Newton, even if he does get benched, PJ Walker, he's going to get sacked. He's going to throw interceptions. I see them going off, in my opinion. Gator fan, what's up, brother? Keenan, play Cowboys or 49ers defense? 49ers play Atlanta. Cowboys play the Giants.
If Daniel Jones isn't playing, I'd probably go Cowboys. They just create so many turnovers.
100%. 100%.
Cowboys kicker or Eagles kicker?
Cowboys.
I would go Cowboys kicker, but it's close.
Apparently, there's a lot of wins in MetLife that's going to be this weekend, so I'll stay tuned for that. Eagles is at home or at Washington?
I don't know, to be honest. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, you do need to stay tuned to the weather, because if that if that's a problem, then
yeah, you might have to take that into consideration. Gator fan, should I be concerned about Connor this week? Yeah, absolutely. He's currently questionable right now. Chase Edmonds is going to be coming back. This game should be an easy win for them against Detroit. Obviously, DeAndre Hopkins, I think they're going to be trying a lot of new things with DeAndre Hopkins going to be out. They know they're going to make the playoffs. They know they're going to be without D-Hop. So I think this is a lot of trial and error for them this week, in the next coming weeks for this Arizona Cardinals team. So be concerned about Connor. They might even rest James Conner to get ready for the playoffs. But maybe not not this week, but maybe the last two games of the season if he's still struggling with that injury. But I think this week you have to keep your ear to the ground and just make sure that he is going to get a full workload, because I do think he could be limited.
Yeah.
Tristan, pick 2: Ayuk, Patterson, Ramondre and Patterson. If this is PPR.
Yeah, even if it's not PPR, it doesn't matter. I'm going Patterson and Stevenson. I like Ayuk, but Debo's back, and I see Ayuk as like a 10 to 12 point player this week. He could always score more, but that's just how I view him right now.
Yeah, he says it is PPR. Okay, yeah, I agree. I like Patterson, Ramondre. You have to DG Wavy. I don't want
wavy.
I don't want Tua to mess around and get injured.
I mean, that boy could break his hand by opening a can of Coke. So it's
unlucky.
It's unfortunate. I just made that up. I feel like that's like something. Is
that funny? Is that be like a tagline, punchline?
No, it's not. I literally just said that.
A genius. It just comes to him just like that.
Yeah. It just sounds like one of those things like people used to say, and like that doesn't make any sense. But
yeah, we have.
Anyway, here I am creating taglines. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it.
Question on Twitch. I don't know how to say it. A Stanley.
A Stanley. 1580. 2319.
With Lamar out, Tua or Fields?
I'll go Tua. It's close.
Tua plays the Jets. Fields play?
Fields plays the Vikings, so it's a good matchup for him. And he's actually one of my starts of the week, because I wanted to give people a streaming option. I really like Fields, but I would slightly lean Tua. I like the matchup better.
Tua against the Jets. He's not going to have Jalen Waddle either. It's going to be interesting.
He's not going to have Waddle, and yeah, that was a killer, man. That was a killer for me in a playoff. You know, I'm facing someone who I thought was going to lose OBJ, and then I lost Waddle, and I thought to myself, well, that's obviously terrible. I don't want to lose him, but at least it's 1-for-1.
Yeah.
And now the Rams game gets moved, and he gets OBJ.
I guess the question is, like, do you trust Tua without Waddle, and like, are you okay to trust Parker and really just Gesicki with Miles?
I think there's enough there. I think there's enough playmakers there. I think the matchups will be fine. I think about how much time this offense should be on the field. That intrigues me. You know, when I think about game script, yeah, the Bears could be down for sure, but there's a chance that, you know, the Vikings offense dominates time of possession. When I think about the Jets offense, I don't see a scenario where they dominate time of possession, and you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like the Jets offense or the Dolphins offense, I think will be on the field a lot.
Gator fan, would you bench Connor this back on YouTube, by the way? Would you bench Connor then or risk starting him? Depends on who you have, who your options.
Yeah.
I think that's really what it is. Let us know. He also had another question. Thoughts on Taysom and Fields rest of the season?
I like Fields. I think I would go Taysom rest of the season, though. You know.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking about Fields. Yeah, I will go Taysom rest of the season as well.
I really, really like Fields. We have to keep in mind last week, and this could happen because he has the players, but I believe his name is Jeremy Grant. Not Grant. That's a player in the NBA. But anyway, little dude, 5'8". The play that he made,
Jakeem Grant, you mean?
A slant. Jakeem, sorry, yeah. It was just a slant over the middle. You know, that was a massive part of Justin Fields' fantasy output. That's not going to happen every week. Although I do love what Fields can do on the ground. You look at Taysom, he can do that too. So, and the difference between Fields and Taysom is who has a better chance if they're within the 5-yard line. Who has a better chance to run it in for a touchdown? I think that's Taysom.
Okay.
As of right now. So I would choose Taysom over Fields rest of the season, but it's close.
Dalton and Riley Gaming, what is happening?
By the way, I don't think we've had you on the stream before. I mean, welcome.
Oh, let us know what you play. See you in Caldera if you play Call of Duty.
Yeah, what are you guys playing over there?
The automaton.
Automaton.
Pick one, no PPR. So it's a standard. Pick one standard. DJ Moore, Devonta Foreman, Robbie Anderson. Oh gosh.
I mean, you skipped his first question.
Did I?
Which is pick one, please. Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, and Carson Wentz.
Oh shit, my bad.
I will go Russell Wilson there.
Mm-hmm. I would go Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson as well.
Russell
Wilson, and then let's just answer his other question, then we can go back to Oliver. Yep. DJ Moore, Foreman, Robbie, standard.
I know it sounds crazy, but I'm going Deonta Foreman. You know, I went back and watched that game, by the way, that the Titans played. They didn't really need Deonta Foreman. But it was clear that he was the lead guy while that game was competitive. So let's not forget what Dalvin Cook did to this Pittsburgh defense. If it's non-PPR and you're not getting any points for receptions, I would go Deonta Foreman. I just don't trust DJ Moore or Robbie Anderson.
I agree with you. I agree. I don't trust DJ Moore or Robbie. I mean, maybe Robbie in the second half because when PJ Walker is probably going to come in because Cam's going to get benched again.
Oh, my God. Who knows what's going to happen?
We'll see what happens. But yeah, I agree. Deonta Foreman, I say you go with him. Oliver, sorry, brother, we skipped the question. Would you play Barclay or Carter?
It's a hard question.
It's very hard. I think this is very even. Barkley's. I think with the PPR upside and the matchup,
I would go Barclay.
I'm going Barclay. Yeah, I mean, I've been saying Michael Carter a lot, but I think Saquon Barkley has the higher upside this week over Michael Carter.
Hey, Stanley on Twitch says, "Thanks, dudes. Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for coming in. Good luck." Next question on YouTube is from DG Wavy. Should I start St. Brown from the Lions even though I have Cardinals defense? Yeah, that's a mental game there, isn't it?
I hate that. Personally, I do that all the time.
So here's how you have to think about it. St. Brown, do we expect this offense to put up 3, 4, 5 touchdowns? No, we don't expect him to do that. But that's not why we're starting St. Brown. You know, we're starting St. Brown because he plays in the slot. He's got this connection with Goff, 12 targets in back-to-back games. He'll probably get 5 to 10 catches, but that doesn't mean he's going to pop off for a bunch of touchdowns. So, and I still think that the Cardinals have a great chance to make, let's say return a interception for a touchdown, a fumble for a touchdown. So I know the mental part of it, but let's say Amon-Ra scores a touchdown, that helps you, right? Mm-hmm. But there's still a great chance that Jared Goff is going to throw a bunch of picks, fumble the ball, returns for touchdowns. So I understand the mental aspect of it, but I would be okay with it still.
I agree. Who else? Andrew.
What's up, my G?
Stevenson or Henderson? Stevenson.
Yeah, I would go Stevenson. Man, that Rams backfield is so unclear. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have Michelle, and I don't even know if I start Michelle.
I agree.
Over my options. It's super unclear in that backfield.
Tristan, thanks. Also have Taysom and Jalen Hurts. Feel like Hurts has the better matchup, but worried about game cancellation with playoff. Gut is going Taysom.
It's a hard one, man. I think in your leagues you need to have. I don't think any game gets canceled. I could be wrong. But in your leagues you should have some system of subs, which we should talk to. We should talk to people about that.
Yeah, so
in our follower leagues.
Essentially what we do is that we have a substitution. So let's just say that Eagles-Washington game does get canceled, but you wanted to start Jalen Hurts. What you do is that before all games start, you'll send in a substitution if a game is at risk, like the example, Eagles at Washington. So you would start Jalen Hurts, but you would send your commissioner a message saying that, you know what, just in case that game does get canceled, I want to start Taysom Hill. So then he can have the commissioner rules. He has commissioner settings where he can put Taysom Hill into that lineup or just account for those points of Taysom Hill.
There's an alternative to it as well, and that's just you talk to the commissioner and say, hey, can we put a vote to see if these players don't play, can I take their projected totals? Do you know what I mean? That's another option as well in case, the sub is too tricky for your league.
Yeah. So that's essentially what we do. We think it's really helpful. We do that for a lot of our follower leagues and even just friend leagues. We do that all the time. It's really helpful, especially with COVID. You have to be flexible now with this whole COVID world and especially in the NFL. Gator fan, where do you see James Robinson finishing this week in full PPR? I think he can definitely finish top 10 if everything goes right. It's a great matchup.
Top 15 feels healthier or more reasonable, but I agree. Top 10 is definitely within the realm of possibilities for sure.
Dalton and Riley game, and I went to the Steelers versus Vikings game, and I'm a Steelers fan. I was impressed the first half.
My God.
Bro, what a game you went to. That must have been nail biting as a Steelers fan, even though y'all lost. But that must have been like really fun to go to and be like, oh shit, they're coming back, and like you keep seeing
that would have been fun. But imagine the last play, just the heartbreak.
Yeah.
Oh, Pat.
What
the
Dragon.
Pat have done? He couldn't have done anything.
He couldn't have done. I mean, you're probably really upset at Chase Claypool. I bet you all the fans was like, "Get the fuck up. Hurry up, do something,"
Do something.
But that's funny. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. The Chosen Rose, Greg Zuerlein.
I don't know why I always want to say the Chosen Rosen, as in Josh.
Greg Zuerlein or Nick Foles. I'll go Nick Foles. He's doing great right now. So
yeah, I would go Nick Folk too.
Tristan, thanks guys. Never thought of that. We'll see what I can do. Yeah, I say that's really huge. Let your commissioner know. Just say a lot of people doing it. It's substitution. You kind of need it, and let it go from there. And it's not saying like even if, just I guess sell it as if like you're not trying to substitute it to whoever has the most points. It's just like if the game gets canceled, there's a backup plan because I'm pretty sure your commissioner is in that position as well. Like he doesn't have other people. Ernesto, Bolden or Jeff Wilson? Wilson.
Yeah, I would go Wilson. It's close though.
That's pretty easy. The Chosen Rosen again. Even the matchup, Nick Foles. Yeah, I think you have to. There is some talks that there's a lot of wins at MetLife Stadium. Greg Zuerlein, maybe he will knock those down really easy. But I do believe Nick Foles.
Actually, I don't care about the weather. For me, it doesn't matter. I would still go Nick Folk. I mean, he's
killing it.
Kicker 1 on the year. No one's a better kicker in fantasy so far than him.
Mm-hmm.
And you think about this team, they kick a lot of field goals, and I think this is going to be a close game. So I would still go Nick Folk personally.
I agree.
What's up, Enrico?
What's up, brother? What's happening?
What's popping? Brand new.
What just happened? Dalton and Riley, pick one. Standard, Michelle, DJ Moore, Lenny.
Yeah, I don't know if Fournette's gonna play though. That's what makes this difficult. If Fournette doesn't play, then I would go Michelle. But if Lenny plays, you go Lenny. David Berry, half PPR, need 2. Aaron Jones, James Robinson, Javonte Williams, Ramondre Stevenson, half PPR. That makes it interesting. Honestly, I don't know why I'm just not super confident in Aaron Jones, and I think it's because he got 8 touches last week and scored 2 touchdowns from them. So his last game looks much better than it actually was, or more reliable than it was. I would go Ramondre Stevenson and James Robinson here.
Tyler Huntley is likely to start in place of Lamar Jackson versus Packers, per Ian Rappaport.
That's not good.
That's not good.
Not good. I need Lamar in a dynasty league, but I literally just traded for Lamar like 1 week before he got hurt in a dynasty league, and I'm like, bro,
at least you have.
So excited.
It's good that it's in dynasty, so you have him next year.
I know.
DG Wavy, do you think Mac Jones will have 225 plus passing yards? Oh,
man, he hasn't hit that mark much this year. I don't think. Let me look.
That is a toughie. Let's just see. Big old Mac Daddy Jones. He's only had 1. Oh, well, he's hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, he's done it more than I thought he had, to be
5,
honest.
6, 7 games actually over 225.
That's a hard line, man. That's a really hard line. And I know it's probably a multi, and I don't want to answer it wrong and be the reason you don't
I think
hit a
yes.
multi.
Yeah, look, you can do what you wish with your money, but I
It's
do
at Indianapolis, which
exactly.
is
That's what I'm
in a
about to
dome.
say. In a dome at Indianapolis, this should be a high scoring game, in my opinion. I do believe he can throw at least 2 touchdowns. I do believe so. I think it's going to be hard. Indianapolis has a good run defense. Let's take that into account.
I actually don't think that. I think that's overblown, but I think this game will be on the ground for the Pats, which makes me worried about Mac. But
Okay.
225. That is such a good line.
I think so. I think he does, man. I really think he does. And to be fair, if we look at the trends, all the teams that he's played that he had over 225 have been bad against the pass. The Jets, New Orleans, Tampa, Dallas, the Jets again.
I would slightly lean yes, but man, that could go either way.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident in that. But like once again, do you want me money? Gator fan, assuming James Robinson is my RB2 this week, pick one in the flex: Claypool, Foreman, or Connor. I would say Connor if he plays.
Yeah, Connor if he plays. Otherwise, I think I would go Claypool.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Ernesto, pick 2: Gage, Van Jefferson, DK. It has to be Gage and DK now with OBJ back.
Yeah, Gage and DK.
I get
DK is
why.
a little bit worrisome, but
100%.
I still think he has a much higher upside than Van.
I completely agree. Bob H, full PPR, AJ Dillon, DJ Moore, Chase Edmonds. Has to be Chase if Chase plays and everything goes well for Chase. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's definitely a toss-up between AJ and Chase.
I know. I think I would go AJ, to be honest. I think what we saw last week from Aaron Jones, I think we could see AJ Dillon in the end zone this week instead of him. And I feel like versus Baltimore, if it is going to be Huntley, then there'll be enough attempts for AJ Dillon on the ground to do something.
That's good. Yeah, I can see that happening for sure.
Yeah.
Drop your questions, guys. We're going to be here probably for another couple minutes. If there's no more questions, we'll get off and get ready for the game.
Yeah, we'll be live until the game unless there are no questions, So if there are questions, we'll be live as long as you guys need us to be.
Who do you have in the game, Pats or Colts? I think it's going to be a really close game, personally.
I think it'll be a close game as well. I do think the Patriots will win. And I think Stevenson's going to have a great game. I really, really hope that he does because I'm playing him in multiple leagues. I'm so pissed that Waddle is out this week. Oh my God. It was so hard to hold on to him, before the trade deadline because I needed to win. And he had a bye in week 14 last week. I thought to myself, the schedule is so good in the playoffs.
Bro,
you have to keep Waddle.
I can actually beat
gosh.
Sam in Dynasty.
Mm.
Justin Herbert put up 28 points. He played Clyde, Eckler, and Keenan. He currently has 47 points. I have 28.
Yeah, Clyde let a lot of people down. Hey,
but the thing is, he has
properly.
Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins. Where now I only have, because Daniel Jones is out, I have Mike Glennon.
You're playing Mike Glennon.
I'm playing Mike Glennon,
my
Amon-Ra, CeeDee Lamb. I'm also playing Ty Johnson, but Michael Carter's back. But that's because
at least he doesn't have Jalen Waddle.
He doesn't have Jalen Waddle. He doesn't have Darren Waller. He doesn't have CMC. He doesn't have Antonio Brown.
Sheesh. All right, next question here is from Gator fan. I already had KC defense, but picked up New England defense, who had gotten dropped because I had the spot. Thoughts? I love holding on to the Pats for week 17 because their matchup in week 17 they will be the best defense that week, I feel. Let me double check who they play, but I have them picked up in a couple leagues because I'm just hoping that I'll make it to the championship and be able to utilize them. In week 17, they play Jacksonville, so I like holding on to them, and they're a great defense anyway. Dalton and Riley Gaming. I had Derrick Henry and D-Hop coming into the year. You probably would have felt so good about your team after week 1 week 2. And then, man, that's fantasy. Shit happens. Hey, I'm sorry, man. That's tough. I definitely feel you, man. I had CMC. This is actually, guys, this is the second year I've had the first overall pick in a redraft league.
Yeah.
And both years I picked CMC. So I've had CMC for the last 2 years as my number 1 overall pick. It's been pain. I think I've played him a total of 4 games.
Unlucky.
In the last 2 years.
Who else? Internal thoughts. At flex, who should I put? Aaron Robinson, Aaron Jones, Darnell Mooney, KJ Osborne, AJ Green, or AJ Dillon.
Yeah, that is tough, man. It is tough to be in a position where you have Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon because
I have to go Aaron Jones there for me. I know it's crazy, and I know where you're coming from. I still think Aaron Jones is going to be the guy worked in the red zone. Is going to be the guy that's maybe it is a split backfield, or maybe he does get the less attempts.
Yeah,
but I still think if somehow they're down, Aaron Jones is going to be the guy.
Yeah. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if AJ Dillon or Aaron Jones went off. But it cannot give anyone confidence knowing that Aaron Jones had 8 touches last week. That is
for sure
shockingly low. So, and let's not forget, Aaron Jones didn't practice much this week. I don't know if that knee is still bothering him. If Thielen is out, I think I'm actually going to lean KJ Osborne here. But if Thielen plays, I would go Aaron Jones and just close your eyes and don't watch that game. Definitely don't watch that game.
Triple X Lex, Devonta Smith, Pittman, Foreman, Judy, Pollard, pick 2 PPR.
Not Judy.
If Pollard, I think
Not
it has
Pollard.
to be. I think it has to be Pittman. Devonta Smith is playing your Washington football team.
I would go Pittman and Foreman.
I'm gonna go.
The reason I say Foreman is because of the matchup. I'm
gonna go Pittman Smith.
Okay, I get it. It's PPR. You want a wide receiver, so I understand that. You probably should play Smith. It's just really tough to trust him. Trey, Colts defense versus New England or New England defense versus Colts? I'm leaning New England defense. I would lean New England as well because I think they have more playmakers, but that's tough, man. That's tough, but I would lean New England.
I agree.
Craig Reynolds or Jeff Wilson? I go Jeff.
Big old Jeffrey.
I'll go F.A.
Justin Young, what's up? Miles Sanders or Devonta Freeman, PPR.
Going Sanders, especially with Huntley. Probably
I agree.
Likely start.
I like Miles. Gator fan. With all the COVID possibilities, how do you suggest how to manage waivers and how to decide who you keep on the last spot or 2 on your bench?
Prioritize the people that are your stars. If Joe Mixon somehow gets COVID, you need to already have Samaje Perine on your bench. That's how I would look at it. Who are the stars of my team? If they went down, it would destroy me if I didn't have their backups.
Yeah, I agree. And there's so many people in COVID, and you're just gonna have to drop people that maybe you don't. Maybe even somebody that you were holding on to. Like I don't know. Like maybe you had 2 defenses. Maybe you're just gonna have to drop that defense, depending on the defense, or maybe you had another tight end that you were waiting for the bye week for, but that bye week is still a couple weeks away, and you still have time to pick up somebody else. Maybe you have to drop that second tight end. You know, it just really all depends on what you're thinking and how your league is set up, because so many things can come into consideration.
Monty or Zeke, I would go Monty. I like the matchup.
Fly Nelly Fly on Twitch.
Follow on Twitch, brother.
Fly Nelly Fly.
We'll get to your question here in a second, my guy over there on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going Monty. I just trust Monty over Zeke right now, and I like the matchup as well.
I would go Zeke. I believe in
Monty
Zeke
versus Minnesota, bro.
Zeke versus the Giants. I think our defense is really
healthy.
bad. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I see both. I mean,
I feel very confident in Monty over Zeke, but you're right. Anything could happen. I just think we have to look at what's happened to Zeke the last couple weeks, and there's been times when they've needed him, or they've needed to rely on the run, and he's not been in there. There's been a 3rd string running back. that just has to be telling,
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree.
It just worries me so much to start Zeke.
But
I get it.
Taysom Hill or Stafford.
Stafford, yeah.
You have to go Stafford there. I mean, he's on a crazy offense. Too many weapons. Dalton and Riley pick one. Standard. Who's your mama? Coughlin, Hunter Henry.
Yeah. You said Coughlin.
Who's your mama? Coughlin.
Yeah, we'll go Hunter Henry as well. I would leave Hunter Henry. Colts side. I think Colts give up the third most points to tight ends off the top of my head. So it's a good matchup. We'll go to Twitch. Thanks for first time viewer here. Fly Nelly Fly. Appreciate the follow. Pats D or Dallas D. That's a really close one. Dallas is against the Giants, right? And
I'm going Dallas. We're terrible.
You're going Dallas?
I'm going Dallas purely because Jonathan Taylor will find the end zone. Period.
Yeah, I'm going Dallas. I guess the reason I'm going Dallas because there's so many playmakers on that team. They definitely have, weaknesses, but there's a lot of people who can make plays on that team, and they could score a touchdown. It wouldn't surprise anyone.
I agree.
Justin Young.
Yeah, Stevenson, Higgins, Sanders, Penny, or Parker in a flex full PPR.
That's tough with Higgins.
I think I'm still going Stevenson.
I think I am as well, but man, that is tough
wide receiver
with Higgins
upside.
there.
So,
say again.
I said I know you like the wide receiver upside.
I always prefer to have a wide receiver. Yeah, I mean, even in T. Higgins is in the past 3 weeks he's had 114 yards or more in every game. I mean, the dude is going crazy.
Who they play?
They play Denver.
Denver.
I think Pat Surtain will be on. It is a worse matchup for wide receivers. I will go Stevenson. It's close. It's very close. I will go Stevenson. Yeah, it sounds like you have a very good team though. If those are your options at flex. Enrico says flex Gibson or Ayuk PPR. Thanks, boys. My confidence in Gibson is really shaky right now, but I think I would still lean him over Ayuk in a PPR format.
I agree. I definitely agree.
It's tough, man. It's really tough. I mean, who knows who's going to be the starting quarterback, what wide receivers will have, what offensive linemen will have. Who will be 24 people on COVID list is insane. All right, y'all. Any questions? I mean, we'll be maybe 10 more minutes.
Right here.
What'd you say?
I said I have the game. I have the game starting on my phone right here. Alabama.
Michigan. Alabama.
Georgia
Alaska,
Bulldogs.
Arizona.
Here we go.
So, Pats D or Jags D? Gotta go Pats. I just think.
Saturday, January 1st, playoff semifinals.
Would you go Pats D or Jags D? I personally.
I have to go Pats.
I feel like you have to go with the better defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you consider Gaskin over Gibson? I actually would. 100%. I mean, the Jets give up the most fantasy points to the running back position. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I would consider it for sure, man. Started 1-4 in my home league, but have won 8 of my last 9, and I'm now 3rd place going into this week. Our playoffs are weeks 16 to 18. I love that for you, man. I remember some conversations because Gator supports us on Patreon, and he's got the fancy hotline. I remember some conversations, and you were like, I have to do something, bro. I'm 1-4. I remember saying, stay the course. It's going to get better, And I feel you. I started my home league 1-7, and I finished 7-7. So I won 6 straight. I'm in the playoffs. Anything's possible. Anything is possible.
Bill Belichick and the Patriots have only allowed 15 and a half points this season. Can Jonathan Taylor be held under 15 and a half points? Not in fantasy.
Is that what they're averaging now?
They're averaging a 15 and a half points per game.
Right.
Like the opposing teams are averaging 15 and a half points against the Patriots.
Right. That makes sense.
I can't believe JT is going to finish RB1.
How cool is that?
I think we knew it was a possibility. At least I didn't. At least I didn't think so because I thought that. At least I thought there was going to be a lot more other people in contention like CMC, Derrick Henry,
Totally.
freaking everyone else.
Injuries definitely helped that case.
Yeah, 100%. But like, man, this is crazy. And then it was so shaky in the season. Carson Wentz breaks his foot,
Matchup,
and then
freaking too good.
What's offensive lineman Nelson breaks his foot.
Totally. I mean, the division is just absolute horseshit. So he can run all over that division every year. Two flex PPR: Stevenson, Ayuk, Robinson, Brandon Cooks, Gibson, Parker, Pittman. I think we answered a very similar question recently.
I think we said
on this live.
Didn't we say Stevenson? I know you said Robinson, and I probably said. It's actually this one will be Stevenson and Robinson because I would rather start Robinson over Pittman. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would start Robinson over Gibson. So I would go Stevenson, Robinson. Keenan. By the way, that's tougher, and that is a tough place to be. You have a lot of good options, but also it sounds like your team is very good if those are your flexing options. Keenan Fleming says Patriots defense held the number one receivers between 60 and 80 yards except for CD. Yeah, this Pats D is good. Pats D is good. Honestly, if the Pats just dominate this game and Stevenson gets 28 to 30 attempts, I'm fine. I'm chilling. I'm good with that.
Mac Jones is definitely the steal of the draft.
Right now, the steal of the draft?
The steal of the draft in
that's hard. That's too hard early to say.
The steal on the draft in the quarterback positions, the talent of the quarterback was Mac Jones. The Patriots didn't move, didn't have to do anything.
Totally.
And he is currently the most successful quarterback in the National Football League from this rookie class.
No, I agree that he's definitely a steal, but steal of the draft, I think it's too early to say. Who knows, like these undrafted guys who could turn into what? Because there's been a lot of good players. I mean, JOK, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Yeah, he was awesome.
We definitely should have. What I said on draft night is 100% true. We should have drafted him.
Yeah, how's the guy that you guys the guy that you
he's still learning, so like it could happen. But right now, JOK just looks like he looks like that safety linebacker hybrid that every team wants, and I don't understand why we didn't draft him.
If our draft day is still up there, guys, on our YouTube page, our live, go watch when the Washington football team took. I forgot his name. The linebacker.
Jamin. I mean, look, he's
Zach was done. It was done. Like he didn't want to talk. He didn't want to do anything. He was like, "Who the hell?" He said, "Who the is that guy?
Who the fuck is this guy?" It was actually that meme for sure, but yeah, it is what it is. Hey, thanks for the sub. Yeah, I really, really appreciate that, bro. All right, let's get back to answering some questions from Ludi.
Stevenson, Foreman, Michelle, Standard. I think it would be Stevenson still.
Yeah, I would go Ramondre.
And then Bar Stevenson or James Robinson.
Ooh, that's tougher. I think I would go Stevenson though, but that's
I think I'll go Stevenson as well. Shout out to Firefighter as well for subscribing on or following on Twitch there. There's a lot of Stevenson questions today. Let's just go straight to Firefighter on Twitch. Stevenson or Javonte Williams?
I would go Stevenson.
Stevenson as well. Let's keep it simple.
Did we answer Dill Bars?
Stevenson or James Robinson? Yeah, we said Stevenson. Varun. I don't know how to say it. I'm really bad at English.
You don't have to say the last
name. I'm ESL. I like to say it.
You're not ESL. You're not ESL.
Two flex PPR. Start two, right? Ayuk, Stevenson, Metcalf, Javonte. Shit. Well, one is definitely Stevenson.
Stevenson and
I
Metcalf.
think it will be between DK and Javonte for me.
Yeah, I would go Stevenson, Metcalf there. Always prefer to have a wide receiver if I can. If it's a close,
it's been pushed back.
Close decision, I always
Seahawks game as well. So yeah, I'll go DK. Stevenson, DK. Okay.
Joseph Reynolds, Deontay Foreman, or Michael Carter, full PPR. I'm more the wait and see right now with Michael Carter. I don't want to trust him with my playoffs on the line. So I don't know what he looks like with Zach Wilson. I have no idea what he looks like with Zach Wilson. So I would go Deontay Foreman.
I think I'll
match up against Pittsburgh.
I think I'll go Michael Carter personally. I just feel really confident in him.
Yeah.
This week.
Gator fan says for leagues setup and starting lineups, how do you decide your preferences between one flex, two flex, or three wide receivers? Just talking amongst the league mates, seeing what everyone likes, and you know what I mean. Just being conscious of everyone's preferences and then putting it to a vote.
Yeah, it's also trial and error. You know, like for example, we have a dynasty league that has 1 flex, and I think next year we should be moving to 2 flex because we just have so many people. I think it. You know, once you set the rules for 1 year, just let it sit and be like, oh, I wish next year. Like if you keep saying, oh, I wish we had more of this, I wish we had more of that, I wish I had another flex, I wish I had more benches. You know, and if everyone comes together, then you can kind of go from there.
All right, let's quick fire because it's almost game time, and I'm sure some of these questions are gonna determine people's lineups. Okay. Andrew says Myers, Gage, or Gabriel Davis. I'm feeling Myers personally. I'm going Gage there. Badaki.
I'm gonna go Gage as well.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Brandon Looney Tunes fan. Hey, what's up, Doc?
What's up,
Doc? I always love when he pops in. Wahab says, how many rush yards and touchdowns for JT tonight? I'm gonna need it because I started Mike Will.
Oh, shit.
I do think that JT gets at least 1 touchdown. I don't see it over 100-yard game. Like that's definitely within a possibility. I more see it as like an 80 to 90-yard game.
Par, thank you for the full flex PPR. James Robinson, Ayuk, or Devonta Parker. It's James Robinson.
Yeah, it is James Robinson. Joseph Reynolds says if DJ Moore doesn't play, AJ Green or Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra.
I would go Amon-Ra. Yeah. Especially because it's full PPR.
And then King, Gabriel Davis, or Pittman. You start Pittman.
Start your stars. I mean, if we look at those 2 guys, I definitely trust Pittman more than Gage. Than Gabe Davis.
Yeah.
But it's tough, man. It's tough. This is a crucial week, and we need those stars to perform. So hopefully they do for you. Any last minute questions, guys? I mean, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Put it in, boys. Put it in.
I need to look at my lineups quickly and make sure I'm all good.
Yeah, I did that earlier when we were in the live. I was like, oh, shit. But I don't.
So I didn't many games are like in so many random places. You know what I mean? Okay, I got time with that one. Like I'm sitting Zeke for Stevenson tonight, by the way, in one of my leagues. Okay, I feel all right with that. I got so many decisions I need to make.
Jacoby Myers or Jerry Jeudy?
Who does Jeudy play?
Cincinnati.
Jacoby
Myers or Jameson Crowder?
Jacoby.
Jameson Crowder or Jerry Jeudy?
Jerry Jeudy. There's no way that Xavier Howard or Byron Jones, one of those guys, isn't on.
I was about to change Jerry Jeudy. Damn, I put him in a flex. Fuck. Sorry.
Oh, shit. I thought it started at 12:20, not 12:15. Or at 20, not 15. Oh, my gosh. Well, all the lineup decisions everyone's locked. Anyway. All right, guys. The game's starting.
Last question by Gated Fan. Gabriel Davis, worth the stash?
Yes. Yes, he is.
Yes, he 100%.
Is. 100%.
Guys, enjoy the game. Happy. Any thoughts on Hunter Henry? He's going to be absolutely fantastic. Minding my own techs. He's going to be absolutely fantastic. The Colts give up a lot of points to the opposing tight ends. I think top 3 in fantasy. So,
wow. Oh, you mean that's how many points they give up, right? I project him as a top 12 tight end this week, which means you can start him.
Yeah. So all love, guys. Yo, spend some. Merry Christmas. We still have one last, I think 3 more days. We're going to be on for fantasy advice in the next coming weeks with our videos and stuff. Other than that, we're going to take a little break. But all love, y'all. Appreciate you guys.
Love.
Deuce and a bubble goose.